Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charmley, and this is another historic church in Rutland. This is the Church of St Mary, Manton. It is a little Norman building that has been altered and extended, and the chancel was replaced, I think, in the 18th century. Certainly it looks about that date. There is a date stone somewhere, but I forgot to look at it before coming in. So we'll have a look and we'll see. Anyway, it is a much later chancel. The rest of it, everything this end of the chancel is medieval, and it's one of the smaller, quirky Rutland churches. It's not one of these big ones with a big spire, but it's one of these small and rather quirky buildings. So we'll have a look around and see what we can see in here. And so we start in the usual place here at the west end. Looking east, you can see here this Norman tub font with its blind arcading on it, and we've got these nice late Norman aisles here. Above the chancel arch there's a restored royal arms of George III, and getting restored rather garishly, but would have been garish originally. It's always that, well, very much indeed, it is that issue that you have, that conflict between making things look as they would have or leaving things the way they do look, and that's been very much the let's go to what it would have looked like. You will notice that we have effectively twin pulpits, one either side of the chancel arch. This is an uncommon arrangement, but it's quite helpful. One is the reading desk, the other is the pulpit. And this is not a church chest, this is a domestic one. You can tell it's only got one lock. It's sort of thing that before you got your chest of drawers, you see, you had a chest, and the chest of drawers in the development of that. At the back here we have a memorial to Robert Heathcote of Lobthorpe and Manton, who died in 1917. And that's the door that leads into the stairs to the parvis, the room above the porch, which was locked. For safety reasons, also they keep stuff in it, and then further safety reasons. And here we have some nice 18th century memorials. This is Penelope, the widow of Henry Smith. We have here, I suppose, Jacob at the well. Yes, quite. And as Henry Smith, Lord of the Manor, who was faithful to his friend, just his neighbour, and devout and pious towards God, as one ought to be, and one certainly ought not to confuse the matter. And this is the north transept, says he, orienting himself quickly. And you can see here we've got this nice 14th century piscina, nice little organ. Any indication as to who made it? It's in the care of J. W. Walker. It just says it's looked after by Walker and Sons. Here we see we have a two-decker. We've got two two-deckers. You've got your desk at the bottom and your pulpit at the top. So that's even more unusual. They are 20th century by the looks of them, but very unusual. I've never seen anything like them anywhere else. And there's the organ in the transept. The transepts are later additions. And here is this very, very severely plain chancel. The medieval chancel fell into disrepair, was pulled down and replaced with this, what they, no doubt, at the time they were said is a chaste and elegant chancel. And it is. I mean, you can complain, oh, it's not medieval, but the reality is that if the medieval one was falling down, there are limits as to what you can fix. And it's so much simpler to build a new one. No choir stalls in here. At some point there may well have been, but not anymore. You can see the west window there is a typically Norman one in a very, very deep splay. And we said before, it's because the Normans didn't have glass in their window, so you were trying to get the maximum amount of light and the minimum amount of rain coming through the window. And then the clerestory, of course, has been added in the 15th century when the roof line has been altered. And we have the south transept, and actually seating in there memorial here to Andrew Graham, Burnaby Atkins, Military Cross and Bar. He's awarded Military Cross twice. 1922 to 1995, King's Royal Rifle Corps, so he would have, 22, and then of course 42, he's old enough to be in the war, to be in the Second World War. Medieval coffin lid, foliated cross. You can see what's called a foliated cross. It's a cross with foliage, and there we have it. Very simple interior. Sort of is very much what you need with this sort of building. It's a simple building, very plain, very ordinary, really. So that is that, and we're back to that lovely, lovely font. And so here we are outside at Manton. I'm having to crouch down a bit because the camera is down a dip and I'm on top of it. You can see here behind me this long church, fairly low, the porch here, and there's a little Sanctus bell cock. That's where the Sanctus bell would go ding 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 for the mass being said. So we'll have a look around the outside. I can't kneel like this is crouch like this is very long, so we'll go around the outside and the usual closing remarks. And so here we are. You can see the medieval building is a bit higgledy-piggledy. You've got the that roof line that's not quite straight, and the porch with its stair turret, and then you've got the transept. You can see the clerestory later addition. Originally the roof would have been lead, and now they've all been replaced with stainless steel and other things that have absolutely no scrap value, because villains steal them. I never quite got around to the proposal to the C of E that they might lobby to have a theft from the church roofs made a capital offence. I joke, of course, but it is a pretty vile thing to do. Stealing, well, I mean, theft is always vile anyways. What else is new? So there's the interior, there's the porch there, and we'll get over here, get a bit further back. So we've got to respect the path, not trample over flower beds. That's always a very bad idea, trampling over flower beds. Yes, 18th century, that chancel. You can see the difference that there's been the chancel, and then there's the porch, of course, is a later addition. So there's a parvis up there. You see two bells, a ding and a dong, as they say. Then the third bell would have been there, but that's gone. Most of them have. Most Sanctus bells were taken down at the Reformation for a variety of reasons. One of them was they weren't used anymore. So yeah, 1796 this is rebuilt. The style is standard really for the period. And here we have these little heads there, and then you can just see there used to be windows either side of the chancel arch, but they've been somewhat affected when this new chancel was built. There we are, 1796. I mean, to be honest, it could be 100 years earlier, the style. It just hasn't changed. It basically just a local builder. Local builder, we need a new chancel. And he says, yep, okay, I'll give you a new chancel. Let's run out one quickly. You can see the grand scale here of the transept. It's a weird building because you've got this transept here that's really, really posh, even better than the other one. And it's the most high status, posh bit of the entire church. And the rest of it is all, I mean, it's not plain, but it's not this posh. And the reason this sort of thing happens is you've got somebody goes, I'm going to have a chantry chapel, and I'm going to build a chantry chapel, and I'm not going to do anything else. There is a church in Lincolnshire that really illustrates this. Maybe you get there one of these days. That really illustrates this, in that it's a tiny little ordinary church, and it's this whacking great, enormous transept, chantry chapel, in a totally different style. You can see here, it's a much lower feeling church, and then this huge transept because it's someone's chantry chapel. It's about their piety, their devotion, and it wasn't so much about providing something for the entire village. Chantries aren't. So, very odd, in a nice way, I think. It gives the building a little bit of character. And I say it's not the most out of proportion chantry. There is a much worse one in Lincolnshire. Couldn't they put some money towards it? And so here we have the War Memorial. Is that rain? That's rain. You can just see here these pinnacles, and then there's the bell cot in the middle. I don't want to look too high up because it's just started raining, and if you look too high up you're just going to get the pitter-patter of the rain falling straight on the camera lens. There we are, back of the chancel, that lovely little window, late Norman. So that then as the porch stair turret, and like I said in previous videos, what you do with the room up there, well, very often what you did was you put the priest in it, and he lived there because he was only an unmarried medieval Catholic priest. He didn't need a lot of space. He didn't have many books anyway because they hadn't written so many of those. They were all very expensive. So that is Manton, St Mary's. St Mary's, Manton. It's on my list of funny little churches because of this odd higgledy-piggledy arrangement of bits and pieces. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed coming out here on this nice, well, it's starting to rain now, but basically nice summer's day to see it. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time, and keep on visiting churches if you can.